Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So, welcome back aboard the optimism train. It's not like it really left per se. As I mentioned before, there were days where prices like either moved sideways or there was that one day where Bitcoin's price dipped by around 3% and then everyone was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then the prices began to move back up once again. The current sentiment is that by the end of this year, we will have a $125,000 to a $150,000 Bitcoin that has not swayed. Every analyst is saying the exact same thing, which is quite nice to see. On top of this, the discussions about the institutional allocations into the cryptocurrency market have seemingly resurfaced. It's not that they ever really disappeared. As I mentioned before, and I think one or two videos ago, there's been so much focus, 99% focused on Bitcoin's price, cryptocurrency prices, price predictions, where this is going, what's going to happen. I think a lot of the other news has been completely swept to the side. And I mean, even more surprisingly, things that have to do with the Bitcoin ETFs, which are constantly in the news, but never actually super popular news. What's kind of taken its place is basically $500,000, $600,000, $1 million Bitcoin kinds of things. We had news around spring, summertime, somewhere in that vicinity, where we began to hear, or rather, all the companies who were actually getting into Bitcoin were obliged in some sort of way to file with the US SEC. I think if normal people were getting into the Bitcoin ETFs, there wasn't really a need per se. But for the people who are investing millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, they were filing with the SEC and yada, yada, yada. And then people found out online, these actual filings by these companies. And that's when we heard earlier this year, all these mega banks who were getting into the space. Even weirder is the constant hearing that they were in the space and then people being surprised that this happened. And as I always say, I know everyone doesn't watch this channel or my other channel, Money Rules. So I get it, but we've known since around 2018, 2019, that these banks have been buying up huge amounts of spot Bitcoin, actual physical, I'm air quoting here, on chain. But now they're also diversifying, of course, into other avenues of Bitcoin as well. Keep in mind that the news that we've been getting for at least 740 years at this point, all these people know each other. This isn't something brand new for them. This isn't their first time hearing about Bitcoin. That is another gigantically, ridiculously common misconception that all these banks, all these institutions, all these companies, all these ETFs, all these hedge funds, all these countries, all these empires are now just hearing about Bitcoin or are now interested because the price is rising. They've been buying for a very long time. It is true that they're probably ramping up their purchases, but they've held egregious amounts of Bitcoin for a very long time. So Goldman Sachs, one of the largest banking institutions in the world, I think it's number 2 or 3 or something like that, it's high up there, is in the popular news today. Goldman Sachs has expanded their Bitcoin holdings in BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT to 12.7 million shares, valued at $461 million US, which represents an 83% increase from its previous position of approximately 6.9 million shares, according to a new SEC filing first reported by Macroscope. I don't know what Macroscope is. I assume this is a company who kind of just digs through all the information and kind of releases it. Is normally mainly done by people on Twitter who kind of like love digging through this kind of information, but I assume a company is putting this information together and giving it to people now. I'm not really sure. The recent increase in Goldman Sachs's iBit holdings greatly outpaces Capula Management's approximate $253 million worth of holdings as well. I assume these numbers are fluctuating as the price keeps going like up, down a tiny bit, up. So I guess the numbers are probably far higher at this point. The firm is now the second largest holder of iBit, trailing only Millennium Management, which holds approximately $844 million in BlackRock Bitcoin ETF shares. The investment bank, which also was added by BlackRock as an authorized participant for its Bitcoin ETF, has also invested in many other spot Bitcoin ETFs as well. The firm's holding include over 1.7 million shares of Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin ETF, around $95 million, representing a 13% increase from their previous filing. So listen, this news is crazy. This news is absolutely bonkers. This news is insane. We have continual confirmation that banks, institutions, hedge funds, global banking leaders are definitely into Bitcoin. And that's why I've mentioned over the course of multiple years how weird that it's been for me that people continuously, I don't want to use the term don't appreciate the news, because I don't think it should be appreciated that all these rich people are buying up all the Bitcoin that's meant for you and your family. However, like the significance is like they're buying up all the Bitcoin. They're doing everything in their power. Like the idea of Goldman Sachs 5, 6, 7 years ago openly having hundreds of millions of dollars worth of anything connected to Bitcoin, and I dare even say futures, is completely obscene. Like you wouldn't have heard anything like this. And now the race is on. Like this is basically exactly what it is, where they know that other companies and institutions are trying to buy as much Bitcoin as they can. And now they're doing the exact same thing. For those of you who missed, I want to say maybe a week ago, there are a plethora of rumors circulating right now that we know that there are around, I think, a dozen countries who are currently mining and accumulating Bitcoin. Like that we actually know for a fact. The rumors are now that apparently 5 larger economy countries are apparently buying up large amounts of Bitcoin and have been doing so since the 6th or 7th of November. The idea being there's speculation that the US is also going to make create a Bitcoin reserve. There was something in the news like a day or two ago with Cynthia Loomis, I think that's her name. And she's trying to get a proposal put forth to be able to like actively like for the US to have a Bitcoin reserve being built up over the course of 5 years or something like that. Apparently, there are multiple countries right now who are trying to get in front of the US before this happens. And we've heard this news from very rich people in the space who like say, I can't tell you the name of the countries, but like they're buying huge amounts right now. And this is part of what we're also witnessing when it comes to like these spikes in price. So companies are also doing the exact same thing. If you are Goldman Sachs, if you are BlackRock, if you are Fidelity, you are large enough to know and have conversations with these people who also like essentially run these countries. What are you doing? How? Because they're also the word's not accounting firms. Whatever. I can't think of the other word. Where they basically like help you do these kinds of things. So these companies are like, all right, well, they're also ramping it up. We have to do the exact same thing. I don't think it's going to take that long. I really think by next summer, next autumn, if we are on pace doing this already, I think we're going to get to the point where like crypto exchanges actually end up drying up completely. I think next year is going to be a lot crazier than people are completely giving it credit for. I think we're going to see like we're witnessing the supply crunch right now. This is why prices are able to spike this much, even in a lot of altcoins. You've been seeing the altcoins doing exceedingly well on certain days. You see like why did that go from 30 cents to 48 cents? It's because behind the scenes, we've also been getting news constantly that whales have been buying up those coins over the course of the last 6-7 years as well. So yeah, I think the accumulation period is kind of going to last forever. There's usually like an accumulation time and then like a bull run time, but I think they're intertwining together because no one really wants to be left behind. FOMO is going to cause this market to reach, unforeseen heights. People like these companies, Goldman Sachs has $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Do you know what that means for, and I air quote here, for other like smaller institutions? People always mimic those who are higher up. There's a reason why people mimic Warren Buffett's stock portfolio, or that other woman in, is it Congress or the Senate? The one who always like wink is getting stuff correct. You may hate her, but her portfolio is like always on it. So people tend to follow them. If you see that Goldman Sachs and Fidelity, we also heard that BlackRock, we heard this maybe early summer, that they're also buying up ETF shares for a number of their other funds that they also hold. And BlackRock, the company, is also buying Bitcoin for themselves, which also no one cared about. If you hear that and you're a company, and I say this, this way, and you have 800 billion in assets, you go, we have to allocate at least $1 billion into Bitcoin. You have another company who's worth 700 million. We need to make sure that we're allocating something because it continuously goes up. If you see these larger players making this move, you can't be left out in the cold when it goes to $1 million. And this is what we're witnessing. So my continual hope is that normal people stumble upon my videos and or in some sort of way realize what's happening and also grab hold of the market before it actually is. And I don't want to say the words too late. I think it'll be too late when Bitcoin's at like $47 million. But obviously, if you get in now before we get to 3 million, your returns are going to be far, far, far greater. And I want to say tying loosely into what we were just talking about. Speculation is abound about altcoins and where they are going. It says crypto analyst Sebastian, I don't know what that means or who that person's supposed to be, has raised the possibility of Cardano reaching $20 in this market cycle. I do not know which altcoins are going to do exceedingly well, but a lot of people have placed their predictions. Cardano, XRP, Dogecoin, and there's 2 other coins. These, off the top of my head, these are the kind of front runners for everything. The predictions for XRP are going bananas right now. People think that XRP is going to hit $3 in like a good 12 weeks. That's not a fake number. People think as we go into 2025, XRP is going to pump. There are, at least at the time of me making this video, there are rumors that Gary Gensler is going to leave the SEC. He's going to write his resignation letter. There are rumors that it's going to be on Thanksgiving. It might happen in 5 hours, thus me saying at the time of me making this video. But that optimism of him leaving, and then there are already projections of who the next SEC leader will be. And people assume that they're going to be incredibly pro-crypto and or give proper cryptocurrency regulations. So this is why you've been seeing this like momentum for XRP. It's an anticipation of Gary Gensler leaving. And basically it's terrible having someone who will just give proper regulation. The either one of the Winklevoss twins or the head of Coinbase recently like called Gary Gensler evil. He was like, everything that man has done has been absolutely evil. And I don't know him personally. It's just more of a, having gone over the news for the past 4 years, you made a terrible name for yourself. Like an absolutely, like no one ever is going to want to work with you ever again. Apparently even people in the office don't even like him. We heard that multiple times from other people in the SEC who were like, yeah, he's not very popular. I don't know why you would do that to yourself, where you just have to give, like, just regulate. If you're talking about helping the American public, just give regulation so people know what they can and cannot or should and should not do. Or if you're going to do X, Y, and Z, go through this proper channel, set it up this way. Nope, nothing in multiple years. And I saw something recently with Jay Clayton as well, how easily the world forgets. Jay Clayton is the person who set up the Ripple lawsuit. So I don't understand how people can continuously forget. However, there's also speculation. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just a matter like of when. In 2025, we know that Ripple is launching their stablecoin. We know that Ripple is going public in the US. And there's something else that's also happening with Ripple and XRP as well. That's where all that excitement is coming from. For Cardano, it's in a lot of different directions. If you can tell me like which one is more focused on, then that'd be great. I'm hearing rumors of, I heard a rumor that Charles Hoskinson was hanging out with Elon Musk. And I think Elon Musk is doing something in the White House and therefore Cardano go up. There was something about Charles Hoskinson hanging out at SpaceX. Cardano go up. There were rumors that apparently, allegedly, Charles Hoskinson might have some kind of a role in the White House. Cardano go up. Like nothing has... I've just seen like tons of news about it, but I don't know what to really focus on. Maybe cumulatively, it's all of it. There was also news recently. I think they both did it. Charles Hoskinson and Brad Garlinghouse were both praising each other and their projects. Both coins go up. So Cardano's price projections right now, same as XRP, is around $3 to $6. Those I've seen everywhere. If we manage to get to a $2, $3 for each of these coins, January, February, March, we are probably going to see a $6, $7 somewhere around summertime. $20 would be miraculously incredible. However, I will say, like, I can see a $10, $12, $13. $20, like, you need like a big monetary push. But I think $5, $6, $7 is going to be like a really big, I dare say the words like easy kind of target as well. They even have a chart here. It's showing the time frame around July. Actually, it's a bit earlier than that. November, July. If it's right here, when it makes that spike, this would be May. Around May to hit $7. It falls back down again and it begins its ascent even further up. It seems completely possible. As I've said before, I think Cardano is like there. Like things just need to kind of align for it. Nothing's wrong with Cardano. Like the project actually works. Remember before all those years ago, they kept on saying they were going to have all these upgrades and all these updates. And I was like, okay, just do it. They did it and they work and they function and the coin works and the coin has enough speed and the coin has enough this and staking works properly. It's just like proper, I don't want to use the term management, but like, you know, leadership and that kinds of thing. Yeah, let's see what kind of momentum they end up getting. I'm waiting for the first couple of months of 2025 to kind of more or less solidify where a lot of these coins are going to go. I think we're going to have a really crazy alt season. Just by definition, I mean, realistically, while Bitcoin always obviously does well the year after the halving, it's the actual altcoins who tend to pump up a lot as well. the rumors of a $1 Dogecoin. And I mean, if we can be completely honest with ourselves as well, Dogecoin is going to hit $1. Like, there's not really much resistance in that area. It hit 70 cents before a couple of years ago. I think the momentum is definitely there. I'm not thinking of a $2, $3, $4, $5 Dogecoin, but I think $1.20, $1.40, it's kind of written in the digital stars, if you will. There's a lot of altcoin price prediction news. You would not believe it. I think it's definitely possible. I think we're going to see some great numbers for a lot of these coins. It's just a matter of time at this point. The projection would be, let's see, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, 7-8 months for like a lot of these big movements to happen. For those of you who don't remember, don't know, if this is your first rodeo, the last push tends to take place around September, October, November, like of the year after the halving. So while projections may be for a $6, $7 Cardano around summertime, usually that idea of a $20 Cardano would come into play towards the end of the year. That's kind of there's always a big final push, and then usually I don't want to use the word collapse, but let's see if we even have one because of all this accumulation that we have going on. And for those of you who also missed that part, the idea being, if there are extra countries who are gobbling up Bitcoin, and the US does indeed establish a Bitcoin reserve, what would basically happen is that anyone who sells would kind of be poop out of luck, simply because some other country would buy those coins up immediately, and any price dips would last no more than like an hour or two. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, that's all I guess some of the price news, if you will, for where things are going to go, the projections. It's nice to see, the optimism's lovely, but people have become very bullish. Dogecoin, XRP, Cardano recently, not out of nowhere. News. Anywho, okay, let's move on. Also in yay news, another day, another Ethereum thing that's supposed to is going to happen. High gas prices have historically been a problem for Ethereum during times of high demand. These charges, which are often a result of network congestion, have been an ongoing issue. If you weren't here years ago, it was a big issue. Back in 2017, I think Ethereum network fees got up to like $7 or $8, and people were like, what the funkin' waggles is going on here? That was a really big shock for a lot of people. At the same exact time, network fees for Bitcoin in 2017 reached $28. That was like even crypto. That was crazy. Even crypto exchanges back then were telling people not to buy and not to transfer off because they were like, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot of money. Ethereum gained superstar status since then, as far as network usage, and people, especially back when the beginning of the ETF craze was going on, and it kind of crescendoed at around $1,500 for a transaction fee. That was when the ApeCoin people made their own metaverse and they were selling off plots of land. That's when it became real, because people were paying around $100 for transaction fees, but the network became so congested that basically people who were validating transactions kind of allowed the transaction fees to go up. If you want your transaction to go first, you have to pay us. So keeping in mind, this was also this was part of the euphoric phase, which we're also going to go over, because we're going to sit here, as I said before, You think it's a joke. It's not. You're going to wake up some days and you've made $15,000 from the market. And that's still not the euphoric phase. You're going to start making six figures from the market. And at that point, back then in the olden times, people had made millions of dollars in the market. So someone saying the transaction fee is $1,500 for a plot of land that wasn't it several $1,000s that were already selling for like 200,000. The mind doesn't really care anymore for whatever the fees might be. The problem is that it's go time, not only for prices, but for coins to like prove themselves. There are a lot of contenders, like 18 different coins lined up who keep saying that they're better than Ethereum, faster, quicker, so-and-so. They're nowhere near Ethereum as far as metrics. However, Ethereum also can't like stay slow forever. It can't have high transaction fees forever. It can't constantly be congested because we are going to, I don't know what it is now. There's always something every cycle that kind of like grabs hold of the space. People think that this cycle is going to be like the meme coin cycle. That's kind of the projection. And if a lot of these coins are built on top of Ethereum and they start doing record like numbers every single day of people trading them and buying them and holding them and selling them and blah, 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 and Ethereum's transaction fees go up to $114, that's not going to bode too well for the actual coin. So Vitalik is now proposing something else on top of the other things that have been proposed. I believe this is the 14th thing right now. In response, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin is putting forward a number of changes to increase productivity and better control transaction fees. He proposed a number of significant adjustments with an emphasis on lowering gas costs for different Ethereum virtual machine opcodes. Buterin wants to reduce the gas costs for Ethereum virtual machine opcodes that are currently in the 2 to 5 range to 1, and those in the 6 to 10 range to 2. I don't know what that means as long as transaction fees actually end up going down. No time frame for this. I assume this is going to happen relatively soon. They're trying to lower costs of using the network up to 4 times, which would be astronomical. I assume that we are still going to get into the situation where transaction fees are going to be like $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 even after this. But to be fair, once again, I am not a developer. I'm not a coder. I don't know what it takes to make a multi-billion-dollar anything at this point, so you can't really knock it. But there have been a lot of proposals this year for Ethereum. Like, it's actually out of control. I hope some of them end up getting through, that they actually end up happening. This is one of the this is it. This is the final stretch. Your coin has to kind of be like prepared and ready and like good to go, especially after waiting the last like 2 to 4 years, depending on what your time frame actually is, because people will look elsewhere for the coin and stuff like that. But Ethereum is in a very good spot. Ethereum's not in some kind of like back burner kind of thing. It's just more of a, we got to get it going. Yeah, that's the Ethereum news. Let's see what ends up happening. I give it 2 days. There's going to be some other kind of Ethereum upgrade news because that's just what it's been over the course of the last couple of months. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you're all doing well. Sincerely, hope you're all actually doing well. Hope you all have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.